Hi, how's it going? This is Katya Gorbacheva with TotalBodyLab, and welcome to our daily digest. So I was on Kathy Hester's this week. She is a chef, plant-based chef, book author. I don't know what she doesn't do, and she has a weekly show when she cooks something. But this week we didn't cook anything. I thought I would eat. Well, I didn't eat on the show. After the show, she fed me. Thanks, Kathy. But we just talked about starting exercising when you haven't done anything for a while, or doing the beginner of beginner type of program for probably the older demographic. I think her followers and subscribers are like 50 plus, and the majority of them are like 60 plus, right? So I knew that when I was coming, so came prepared, right? Brought my favorite pieces of equipment, band number 1, band number 2, and I thought, cool, stuff is just gonna make sense. I'm just gonna show them a couple, shoulder warm-ups, do the banded lat pull downs and triceps push downs and joint gymnastics, which, as you know, if you've been following me, does not include anything related to gymnastics. It literally means rotation in all your joints that I think all of the people can do, unless you are completely disabled, like even those who cannot walk. My mother cannot walk, and she does those things. She actually exercises more, not that she cannot walk, rather than when she could walk. She just didn't do anything. She thought walking was exercise, and now she does more specific exercises that her doctor gives her, that I give her, and that my dad, who is also, an orthorexic freak like me, or like I used to be, I don't know, I hope I'm better now, gives her. So anyways, I guess I'm here to bring the message across that more varied strength training, including with bands, not just walking or any kind of other, I guess, similar repeated cardio, is probably better for you for longevity. I got kind of pushback on that message yesterday, which makes sense because all of the doctors are like, yeah, just walk a little more. Like if you can't, like if you want to lose weight, or if you want to just be more active. And I get that, but I guess they just don't want to take responsibility in case like a person goes to the gym, they get injured, and like, oh, you doctor, you suggested that I do squats or I do like banded stuff, and I hurt myself, and then I, twisted my wrist, or I injured my ankle, oh, blah, blah, blah. I fell down. Oh, this is really cold tea. Why am I drinking iced tea? I like hot tea. Anyways, I do hear the message a lot that like, if you're not fit, you should just walk. If you don't know what to do, just walk. And I do disagree with that message. I do agree that if you're not doing anything at all, yes, walking is great. If you want to lose weight, walking is wonderful. It is easy cardio that most people can do, that they can, scale in terms of how fast they walk, how long, if it's hills or if it's straight, if it's terrain, if it's city, you can do a bunch of different things. But a lot of the people yesterday asked me, they're like, oh, so I need to get stronger. Like I need to work out my legs. I need to tone up my legs. I need to exercise my body. I need to work out I need to strengthen my body. So instead of walking 1 mile, I walk 3 miles. And I'm like, that's not what gets you stronger. So like, I'm sorry for bringing you the message that you don't want to hear, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Doing varied strength training for all of the muscle groups in your body is better than increasing the duration of the same cardio that you've been doing for your entire life. Progress from doing more of the same thing is going to be incremental, rather than progress of doing more of a different thing is going to make a change, right? And another question or message that I got, I guess feedback comment that I got yesterday was like, oh, well, I'm afraid to get injured. Like, oh, exercise, I'm going to get injured. Yeah, so dangerous. And yes, you read about the articles of like the older demographics gets injured more if they're doing, this and that with the weights. But we don't hear, like, there's no way to research and do a comparison study on what the older demographic, how the older demographic gets injured if they haven't been exercising for their entire lives and have been living like, more of the desk to the couch to the TV type of life versus the folks who have been active in varied ways, from swimming to running to strength training to whatever. But I'm gonna bet $1 on the fact that the folks who have been exercising in varied ways have better longevity and have better strength and have less muscle deterioration with age. Women have less osteoporosis. Folks have less pain in their lower back and in their knees because they actually have muscles, like a corset protecting their skeleton and your load when you pick up stuff. For example, groceries, that's a deadlift. You don't think about it that way, but it is. That's what it is. The muscles take more of the load rather than skeleton. You're less likely to get herniated discs, yada, yada, yada. If you have scoliosis, it's less likely to get more severe if you actually have muscles in your back rather than if you don't do anything. And for example, you keep typing, and you just turn into a question mark slowly with age, which we all will. But the rate at which it happens varies depending on what you do with your spare time and with your exercise. So there was a study that I read. I do not remember what it is. I read it a couple of years ago on the fact that I think it was comparing triathletes to marathon runners or something like that. Or it was basically multidisciplinary athletes comparing to athletes who were doing just one sport. And of course, they had less injuries. Of course, they felt better. Then the point was, if whatever the sports or activities the person does are more varied, then they have less injuries, they have less pain, they are more like adapted to whatever the life throws at them. You know what I mean? Including aging, including problems that come with aging. So I'm not a doctor, and I highly recommend that you research that yourself, find studies like that. I'm sure you will find something interesting. Let me know in the comments if you know people who have been doing one type of sport versus different kinds of sports throughout their lives. And if you know how they feel, if you know one of them is more injured than the other, one of them feels better, one of them feels worse, why? I would be really curious to hear, because that's what I truly believe. I truly believe even if you are older, if you cannot, you believe that you cannot do anything, you can always do something. You can always do, small weights. You can always do small bands. You can always warm up your joints, right? Like my parents are aging, their friends are aging, and they all do that. And I talk to them and they still do stuff, sometimes more stuff than they did when they were younger, because they just thought, oh, walking around in chores and garden was enough exercise. And it wasn't, because it was too much of the same thing. And it was not, they weren't focusing on the form. They were bending over however, and that's fine to an extent. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Great, that's awesome. Anyways, I hope I brought my point across. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I do believe that folks can always vary whatever they do, no matter, pretty much, unless they are fully disabled head to toe. They can always do something different and add new kinds of exercise and new kinds of movement into their lives, and that will be beneficial for them. So yeah, I hope you agree. I hope if you're a very unilateral athlete, if you're just a powerlifter and after walking a mile, you're just dying, sweating, you have no endurance, you add some walking into your life. I hope if you're a runner, you add some lifting into your life. If you're a swimmer, you add some, I don't know, Olympic weightlifting. So yeah, I hope you try new things safely and enjoy them and become a more well-rounded athlete. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Katya Gorbacheva. There's links for stuff, for coaching, for programs, for free powerlifting guide, for discounts from the brands that I like in the description. As always, feel free to shoot me a message, feel free to leave me a comment, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Oh, it doesn't turn on like that.